Hello, and welcome to the Educational Technology Using Technology Effectively in the Classroom module. This module is broken into 3 parts, each with its own learning goal. In Part 1, you will understand the importance of using technology effectively. In Part 2, you will be able to recognize and identify effective implementation of technology into a lesson. In Part 3, you will design a lesson using technology to develop students' higher order thinking skills, assess student learning, and provide feedback. First, Part 1, the role and importance of using technology in the classroom. Let's start with a tough question. Some scholars have claimed that technology cannot be used to accomplish a learning goal that other methods could not achieve. While this may seem like a bold claim at first, the idea does bear some merit. Thinking in terms of learning objectives, everything that students are now being asked to learn was once accomplished without technology. Students can still achieve the same learning goals without technology use. For example, algebra students can certainly perform their calculations using a pencil and paper instead of a calculator. English students can write their papers using a pen and paper instead of typing their papers into Microsoft Word. Even computer programming students could theoretically write code on a paper and have their work checked by a master programmer. The question then becomes, what is the purpose of technology? Think about the last time students used technology in your classroom, be it their phones, computers, your projector, or any other technology resource. What were they doing with the technology? Many would say that technology is best viewed as a tool. That is, while technology might not change what students learn, it can be used to change how they learn. Going back to our earlier examples, algebra students would save a great deal of time and headache by using a calculator instead of writing out long division. This would also help teachers focus on the lesson to be learned instead of punishing students for calculation mistakes. English students writing their papers through Microsoft Word would be able to edit their mistakes much more easily and remove illegible handwriting as a threat to their success. Computer programming students would find great benefit from being able to check and debug their programs themselves instead of having to wait for feedback from the teacher. Yet ineffective technology use does occur. Unless students are fundamentally changing the way they are engaging with technology, studies have shown that there will be no real learning gains. One of the major problems that arises from using technology in the classroom is what's called the instrument fallacy. That is, give a boy a hammer and everything becomes a nail. Teachers can often become overzealous in their application of technology, using the technology as a simple substitute for other classroom means without changing the way that students engage with the lesson. For example, a student filling out a worksheet on a computer won't help them learn the material any better than if they were filling out the same worksheet on paper. Reading an article online isn't any different from reading a handout. Some tasks can even be more difficult on a computer, like drawing images or diagrams. Unless the technology directly supports the lesson objectives and engages students in new ways, no real learning gains will be achieved over traditional means. This leads us to a new understanding of the types of knowledge teachers need in order to be effective in the technology-enhanced classroom. Master teachers already possess a strong knowledge of the content they teach and a mastery of the pedagogical skills to help students learn. What is often missing from the equation is knowledge of the technology being used. Teachers can certainly teach great lessons without technology, yet to use technology, teachers must be familiar with how it works and how it can be used to enhance their lessons. One model we can use for defining technology use in the classroom is called the SAMR model. It helps us define the purpose for the technology used in a lesson. Beginning at the bottom of the model, technology can be used as a substitution for other means without changing the lesson. For example, this screencast is a digitized version of a lecture, which is a common practice in the classroom. The only difference is that you are viewing it on a computer instead of hearing my voice in the room and seeing these slides projected on a screen. This is a substitute for a traditional lecture. Yet this module also goes one step further, in that it contains an element that makes the lesson stronger, which leads us to the next step of the model, augmentation. You can pause this lesson to give yourself time to think, or rewind to parts that you may have missed or would like to revisit. While you are not changing the lecture, you are able to manipulate the lecture to help you understand its content. These tools enhance the lesson, yet to get the most out of this technology, the lesson must be transformed. The next step up the model is modification, that is, using technology to significantly redesign the task. For example, this module has provided several opportunities for you to reflect on your experiences as a teacher, pausing the video until you are ready to move on to the next point. While teachers can use questioning in lectures, it is often difficult to ask every student in the class the same question while giving each student the time he or she needs to reflect on the questions. The last tier on the model represents redefinition, that is, using technology to create new tasks that would be impossible without technology. Continuing with this video as the example, technology could allow for students to research this information online and present their findings in their own screencast, instead of receiving the information in the form of a lecture. Note that in all 4 levels of the SAMR model, the learning goal has remained unchanged. The only difference is the way students are engaging with the content. Some of the levels, most notably redefinition, could help encourage other learning objectives as well, like developing collaboration and communication skills. This is the strength of technology, enabling students to dig deeper and better prepare for life in the 21st century workforce. This concludes part 1 of this module. Here you have been shown reasoning and examples of the importance of using sound pedagogical skills in using technology in the classroom, and some of the opportunities that technology presents. In part 2, you will see examples of how to change lessons using common technology tools to better engage your students.